over these breaches or reported breaches of quarantine. We were expecting a reprimand as opposed to a dismissal. We got a resignation. So what do we think has happened here?
I mean, I think it largely shows that the banks are under the microscope in terms of their personal conduct. And look, we've all been living with lockdowns. We've all been living with quarantines. And if banks are not also abiding by the sort of terms and situations that the rest of society is, they're really under the microscope. And, obviously this was a big embarrassment for Credit Suisse. They seem to have one embarrassment after another. Whenever they're getting back on the right foot, something else pops up, and it's quite an unfortunate development for Credit Suisse.
Yeah, one of those embarrassments, of course, a disastrous year when the collapse of Archegos Capital happened. So what will this leadership shakeup mean for the company's performance going forward?
Yeah, the chairman that's now leaving was heavily in the midst of a cleanup of that, and he seemed to be doing well. There seemed to be a little bit more shareholder confidence, and now he's gone. I mean, that's sort of what I was intimating at earlier. Every time Credit Suisse seems to be making progress, they take a step forward and then they take 3 steps back. So, it's hard to see what it will take to get this bank on more stable ground.
Given that we've seen a pretty mixed bag when it comes to bank earnings so far, what we know from this season inform us as to what the outlook is and some of the biggest challenges for Credit Suisse? As you mentioned, they're really just struggling to get past, not just Archegos, but exposure to Greensill as well, and just a terrible year that they had.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the fourth quarter was not a great quarter for trading, which drove a lot of the bank earnings throughout the pandemic. The volatility that we saw in markets was very good for the banks. So, it's a little unclear where the banks go from here with some of that volatility receding, some of the active trading markets that we've seen receding. It's not a great time to be losing your chairman, and, you're midstream dealing with the Archegos rehabilitation. So, it's really quite unfortunate that this happened for Credit Suisse.